Hi, welcome to my channel. If you came here from my first video, then welcome back. This is the second of the two videos that I've made for a big school project, and this one specifically covers struggles that artists can often go through when they first begin their journey into the art world. I will be going over these struggles and attempt to provide valuable tips on dealing with these struggles or ways to counter them. Just to clarify, the three struggles I will be discussing today are all struggles that I myself have gone through as a beginner. It took me a really long time to counter these struggles, so I wanted to make this video as a good resource for those going into art, so that they don't take as much time countering these struggles as I did. Alright, let's begin. One of the more common problems I've noticed is that artists like myself can start out either without proper art tutorials or start out by relying too heavily on references. These two go hand in hand, and let me explain why. Just getting this out there first, using references is not a bad thing. In fact, I encourage the use of references when drawing. What I mean by being too reliant on references is drawing the source material the exact way it was drawn before, something that I used to do very often when I began drawing. What you see in front of you is some very old art of mine as an example of this. This problem can sometimes begin due to inadequate art tutorials for beginners. As you can see, these tutorials show specific step-by-step instructions on how to draw a select object or thing, but these types of tutorials tend to show these instructions as the only correct way to do it. While following the instructions as shown does result in a better drawing, it only promotes the viewer to draw that specific thing in that way. Doing so doesn't foster any creativity within beginner artists and could directly cause them to become too dependent on these references, which is what happened to me. To counter this problem, I'd start by refraining from using step-by-step tutorials and instead find one reference picture of the thing you want to draw. If you're drawing a character of some kind, find a good reference of what they look like or a pose you may want to draw them in. If you choose to draw using a reference picture, I would suggest drawing that picture in a different way than in which it was originally drawn. Doing so, although the reference isn't as solid as instructions would be, will allow you to think more creatively about what you want to draw, which will eventually help your creative mind bloom a lot sooner than it would using instructions. But what if the drawings turn out bad? That's exactly the problem I'm going to get to next. Some beginners, like I did, tend to be worried about only making good art and get discouraged when an art piece or a sketch they make doesn't turn out to be as good as they want it to be. The trick to counter that feeling is to actually make that art anyways, regardless of if it turns out good or not. It sounds random, I know, but doing art even if it seems bad at the time is a very good way to get your creativity out on paper. I highly recommend drawing small sketches even on a bad art day because it allows you to get your lower quality art out of your system and focus on what you want to improve for later. Plus, low quality art can still serve as a valuable reference for if you want to improve said art in the future. A great example of this is my preliminary sketches for these videos. I did some pretty bad sketches in my notepad, to be blunt, but enhanced them later on to make the frames that you see in this video now. In fact, I got a lot better at drawing them after my first video since it helped me learn so much about what I want my style to look like. I'd recommend doing the same. The final problem I'll cover in this video, and likely the toughest one to counter, is finding the art style that resonates the most with you. Whether it be drawing in another style you enjoy or creating your own, finding the right art style always proves to be one of the biggest challenges that a beginner artist can go through. The best I can recommend for you, given the length of this video, is that you look for different styles that inspire you, and try to combine what you like from these different styles to create your own, similar to the way I created my style. If you want a more in-detail explanation about art style and how to find your own using the method that I mentioned in this video, I'd suggest watching the art and identity video that I created prior to posting this one. It'll have far more help for you on this specific problem. That's all I have for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all on my channel again. Bye now!